Kicking off UFC Paris, we have a welterweight clash between the undefeated Axel Sola, boasting a record of 10-0-1, versus Rhys McKee, comes in with a record of 14-6-1. McKee, as you recall, he's coming off his first UFC win. He lands 5.16 significant strikes per minute while absorbing 7.92. Axel, like I said, will be making his UFC debut off of Aries FC. He does have a 55% finish rate. Keys to victory for me here for Axel. He should look to start fast, land some heavy shots early. McKee does get hit a lot. He needs to manage the distance effectively and avoid getting caught early. My prediction for this one, I'm going with Rhys McKee. I think McKee got over the hump in an absolute war in his last fight, and I think he'll build off of it. In the next fight, we have Shauna Bannon versus Sam Hughes. We got the kickboxer Shauna Bannon coming in with a record of 7-1, taking on Sam Hughes, who holds a record of 10-6. Bannon lands 4.77 significant strikes per minute, and her ability to control the range will be key in this strawweight matchup for me, and mostly it's her kicks. Hughes on the other side lands 4.41 significant strikes per minute. The keys to victory for Bannon, she needs to keep Hughes at bay, use those kicks. She likes to push kick a lot and just that range control. While Hughes on the other side should aim to close the distance and probably even get this fight to the ground or even mix it up with a clinch against Shauna Bannon. My prediction for this one, this is really a coin flip fight here. 2025 has been a great year for women's MMA, but I'm going to take Shauna Bannon here, but I would advise stay away from this fight. In the next fight, we have Brad Tavares versus Robert Bryczek. Next, we have a middleweight battle with Brad Tavares coming in with a record of 21-11, and Robert Bryczek coming in with a record of 17-6. Tavares lands 3.42 significant strikes per minute, showcasing his offensive output. Bryczek on the flip side, however, lands only 2.13 significant strikes per minute while absorbing 4.47. Keys to victory for me here, Tavares should focus on the striking from range and just use that higher output and just look to get ahead of Bryczek. Possibly get Bryczek into the clinch, frustrate his offense. On the flip side, Bryczek needs to increase his output and look to get more active. He got caught taking way too many pictures in his UFC debut. Ultimately, though, I'm going with Brad Tavares to get the job done here. His veteran experience, his ability to use different paths to victory, get it done for him here for me. In the next fight, we have Sam Patterson versus Trey Walters. We got a welterweight clash right here. We have the grappler Sam Patterson coming in with a record of 13-2-1, going up against the striker and Trey Walters, who holds a 9-1 record. Patterson lands 3.17 significant strikes per minute, but he does have a takedown accuracy of 100%, showcasing his ability to get the fight to the ground and use that BJJ skill set that he has. While Walters on the other side lands 6.43 significant strikes per minute while absorbing 5.61. Keys to victory for me here, for Patterson, definitely focus on getting the fight to the ground and allowing Walters to bring the fight to him and look to counter. And when the fight does get to the ground, attack with those submissions. On the flip side, Walters needs to maintain his distance, use that 86% takedown defense, and look to land combinations on the feet. Ultimately, though, I'm going to go with Sam Patterson. His grappling skills and that ground control, I think, will be a bit too much for Walters to handle once the fight hits the ground. In the next fight, we have William Gomis versus Robert Ruchala. It's a featherweight clutch up. We have kickboxer William Gomis with a record of 14-3, going up against Robert Ruchala, boasting a record of 11-1. Gomis lands 3.53 significant strikes per minute, and his range control could be the difference in this fight. Ruchala, however, will be making his UFC debut off of KSW. Keys to victory for me here, Gomis uses striking accuracy and that range control. Like, he has really good footwork, maintains the distance very well, and try and use that to keep Ruchala on defense. Gomis has really good footwork and has decent takedown defense as well. Ruchala will need to focus on some counter striking and head movement to avoid Gomis' slick striking skills. Ultimately, though, I'm going to go with William Gomis here. I just think the footwork, the distance management, the striking accuracy, and the footwork is just going to be too much In the next fight, we have Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Andreas Gustafson. It's a welterweight bout featuring the wrestler Rinat Fakhretdinov coming with a record of 23-1-1. And then we got Andreas Gustafson holds a record of 12-2. And this guy is a grappler in his own right as well. Fakhretdinov lands 4.78 significant strikes per minute. And he also lands 3.95 takedowns per 15 minutes. So it definitely showcases his wrestling skills. On the flip side, Gustafson lands 4.78 significant strikes per minute. And Gustafson's takedown defense is 100%. So something's got to give in this matchup, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Keys to victory for me, for Rinat, he should aim to get this fight to the ground. I think on the feet, he can definitely get hit quite a bit. Doesn't have a lot of head movement and is a solid wrestler. Gustafson needs to maintain that strong takedown defense and look to get in the clinch. Like, this guy has really good dirty boxing, really nasty in the clinch, and maybe even get Fakhretdinov down as well. But ultimately, I'm going with Andreas Gustafson here. His takedown defense and his pressure, I think, are going to neutralize Fakhretdinov here. And I think this is going to be a really tough fight for both men. In the next fight, we have Marcin Tybura versus Ante Delija. We're jumping into the heavyweight division with the well-rounded Marcin Tybura coming in with a record of 27-9. Going up against a striker in Ante Delija at 25, coming with a record of 25-6. Tybura lands 3.6 significant strikes per minute. Also does a really good job of using his grappling, making him a threat in any grappling exchange. Delija, on the other hand, like I said, he's a kickboxer. He has a 58% finish rate, 11 KO wins, 7 submission wins on his resume. And as we've seen before, Tybura's wrestling pressure and the capability on the ground, definitely just getting guys down and beating them up, definitely poses significant threat and a challenge for Delija here, who will need to lean on his takedown defense, and he definitely has to keep this fight standing. But Delija's striking prowess and his ability to maintain the distance could disrupt Tybura's game plan. The keys to victory for me here, Tybura is going to need to close that distance, secure some takedowns, maintain that top pressure and that top control, and just neutralize Delija's striking. On the flip side, for Ante, he must keep this fight on the feet, utilize some good footwork, avoid those takedowns at all costs, and look to capitalize on the feet. But in this one, I'm going with Marcin Tybura for the win. He's been in this spot before. He's used his grappling to turn away newer heavyweights before. We've seen it. And I think his wrestling prowess and that ground control can negate Delija's striking and control the pace of the fight. In the next fight, we have Oumar Sy versus Brendson Ribeiro. We go to light heavyweight contenders. Oumar Sy coming in a record of 11-1. It's a well-rounded mixed martial artist, locking horns with a striker in Brendson Ribeiro coming in with a record of 17-8. Sy lands 3.68 significant strikes per minute and lands 2.22 takedowns per 15 minutes. Ribeiro lands 3.26 significant strikes per minute and has a 64% finish rate. The keys to victory for me here, Sy needs to exploit Ribeiro's potential defensive vulnerabilities and apply some constant pressure and even mix in the takedowns as well. Ribeiro must utilize his striking to keep Sy at bay and avoid getting taken down and controlled up against the side of the octagon. Ultimately, I'm going with Oumar Sy. I think he's looking to bounce back from that loss in his last fight. He's very well-rounded, got a solid skill set, and I think he gets it done here against Ribeiro. In the next fight, we have Patrico Pitbull versus Losene Keita. Featherweight clash here. Pitbull comes in with a record of 37-8. Losene Keita comes in with a record of 16-1. He's a kickboxer and just got opposing styles. Pitbull's wrestling and ground control could be a major factor against Keita here in this fight, who will need to rely heavily on some takedown defense and his distance management. And if he does get taken down, he's going to have to scramble and get back to his feet. Keys for victory for me here, Pitbull focus on getting the fight to the ground and just controlling the kickboxer on the ground. On the flip side, Keita needs to keep this fight standing, use his striking advantage because I think he will be the faster guy on the feet. I'm going with the guy making his UFC debut on Losene Keita. I like the striking, the youth, the speed, and I think it's going to be enough to get the job done, but it's going to be a really tough fight for him. In the next fight, we have Ziam versus Kai Fernandez. We got a lightweight bout. We got two kickboxers. Ziam comes with a record of 17-4, facing off against another fellow striker in Caio Fernandez with a record of 10-2. Ziam lands 2.85 significant strikes per minute. Fernandez lands 4. Ziam will enjoy a 2-inch reach advantage. Ziam also has a 48% finish rate. Fernandez, on the flip side, has a 58% finish rate. Keys to victory for me here for Ziam. Control the range, land those clean, straight, powerful strikes. Fernandez will need to utilize his explosive kicks and look to counter. Ziam is also very good in the clinch, and I think this could be something else he definitely exploits as well. Ultimately, though, I'm going for Ziam. His striking accuracy, that range control, I think it's just going to be enough to edge Fernandez and the striker's delight. In the next fight, we have Modestas Bukauskas versus Paul Craig. We have a light heavyweight bout here with the kickboxer Modestas Bukauskas coming in with a record of 18-6 against the BJJ specialist and Paul Craig with a record of 17-9-1. Bukauskas lands 3.26 significant strikes while absorbing 4.07. Craig lands 2.54 significant strikes per minute, but he needs to get the fight to the ground. He lands 1.47 takedowns per 15 minutes. Keys to victory for me here. Bukauskas should keep the fight standing, use that 78% takedown defense, and pick Paul Craig apart on the feet. Conversely, Paul Craig needs to close the gap, bring the fight to his comfort zone, which is on the ground by any means necessary. And then when he gets there, look to lock up a triangle or an armbar. My prediction for this one, I'm going with Modestas Bukauskas. I really like his striking, the distance management. I think he'll be able to keep Paul Craig at bay and control the range. And he's also a friend of the channel, so I got to back my guy. In the next fight, we have Balaji Oki versus Mason Jones. It's a lightweight matchup. Balaji Oki comes in a record of 10-2. Mason Jones comes in with a record of 16-2. Oki lands 7.05 significant strikes per minute. Jones counters, landing 5.56. Jones also lands 4.24 takedowns per 15 minutes, and Oki counters with an 86% takedown defense. The keys to victory for me here, for Balaji Oki, he needs to avoid Jones's takedowns and keep the fight standing. Jones should definitely mix things up with the strikes and the takedown attempt to keep Oki on the back foot. Ultimately, I think this is going to be a really competitive fight, but I'm going to go with Mason Jones. His wrestling prowess, mixed in how he blends the striking, I think will give Oki too many things to think about, and I think Mason Jones gets it done. In the co-main event, we have Benoit Saint-Denis versus Mauricio Rufy. BSD comes in with a record of 14-3, and we got the lethal striker Mauricio Rufy coming in with a record of 12-1. BSD is known for his wrestling, his pressure, and just being an absolute savage. He lands 5.39 significant strikes per minute while absorbing 4.61. BSD also lands 4.19 takedowns per 15 minutes. On the other side, Rufy, a kickboxer that's just been on a tear, lands 4.54 significant strikes per minute and boasts a 100% takedown defense. His distance management and his footwork have been instrumental in his takedown defense. The clash of styles here is very fascinating. BSD will look to close the distance and get this fight to the ground. Definitely, he starts very fast, but he's very irresponsible on defense and does get hit a lot. Mauricio Rufy, his best chances lie maintaining the distance, using his footwork, keeping this fight on the feet, defending the takedown, and just keeping BSD at bay. Keys to victory for me. For BSD, he needs to apply that constant wrestling pressure, look for some takedowns. When he gets Rufy on the ground, maintain that ground control. On the flip side, for Rufy, he has to manage the distance effectively, avoid the fence, and capitalize on some counter-striking opportunities because they would definitely be there. My prediction for this one, I'm going with Mauricio Rufy to come out on top. His striking accuracy and his distance management should give him the edge, I think. But I think this is going to be a very fun, very competitive fight. And I think he's going to keep BSD at range and then defend the takedowns. And also, I don't like BSD's defensive liabilities. Now, before we get into the main event, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more content. In the main event, we have Nassourdine Imavov versus Caio Borralho. This is a #1 contender fight at middleweight and determines who gets the next title shot against Khamzat Chimaev. Nassourdine Imavov's a well-rounded fighter with a nice blend of striking, grappling. I would say it's more striking than grappling. Comes in a record of 16-4. And on the flip side, Caio Borralho's another well-rounded middleweight, comes in with a record of 17-1. Imavov lands 4.45 significant strikes per minute and has a 79% takedown defense. His ability to control the distance and manage the range will be key against Borralho's well-rounded approach. Borralho, on the other hand, he lands 3.61 significant strikes per minute, and he also lands 1.56 takedowns per 15 minutes. His ability to absorb strikes and keep pressing forward shows his toughness and his well-roundedness. He also does mix it up very well, the striking with the grappling. And this tactical clash here will be very intriguing. Imavov will want to keep this fight standing and utilize his strikes from range, while Borralho is going to want to close the distance, mix it up in the clinch, and potentially get Imavov to the ground to slowly drain that gas tank. The key is the victory for me here for Imavov. He's got to maintain the distance, avoid takedowns, and look to go to the body. They're going to be in opposing stances. Borralho's mostly southpaw, and Imavov is orthodox. On the flip side, Borralho must look to close the distance, secure some takedowns, maintain that ground control, and just neutralize Imavov. Ultimately, though, I think this is a very tough pick, but I'm going with Nassourdine Imavov. I really like the striking. I like how he got the finish over Israel Adesanya in his last fight. And this is going to be a very tough fight. I don't think either guy gets a finish, even if Borralho gets the win here, but I think we're going to get a really good main event. If you made it this far in the video, I would like to say thank you. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Questions, comments, thoughts, and your feedback are always welcome. And as always, until next time.